I don't wanna let you down. It's the only thing I think about every morning. You know my life ain't figured out, but I promise if you stick around it'll never get boring. We'll spend nights, cheap red wine, look at flats even though we can't afford them. I don't wanna let you down, I don't wanna lose you now. Will you stay even when you wanna walk away? When times get bad, we can learn to love what we have. I don't wanna let you down, I don't wanna let you down, I don't wanna let you down, I don't wanna mess around. You're the only one I want there at the end of my story. It's the only thing I figured out, 'cause everything else in my life without you would be boring. And we'll spend nights, cheap red wine, look at flats even though we can't afford them. I don't wanna let you down, I don't wanna lose you now, I don't wanna let you down.
Good morning, team. It is Monday and it's 22:10. I am planning on doing like another 24-hour time challenge. I feel like I haven't done one of these in ages. I did do one in April. It was the 24 manga in 24 hours challenge, but it's coming to the end of the month. Friday's the last day of the month and I don't want to do like a full week's vlog. First of all, Saturday is the 1st of June and my intention is to read only queer books in June. So I'll just start a new vlog on Saturday. And then Wednesday I'll be out with Andy, Thursday and Friday I'll be at work. So there's no point in doing a full week's vlog on that basis. So I'm just going to do 2 days. Did start last night. I actually started this vlog already with the intention of doing different little projects, and then decided that I didn't want to do that anymore, and suddenly realised that I had done a really shit job with my Spring TBR. I think so far I've read maybe 2 books off of that Spring TBR. I've done a really bad job with it. So as we go into June and I will be doing a summer reset and setting a summer TBR, I want to make some progress on that Spring TBR because I have been excited about the books. I just haven't had chance to get to them. So last night you will have already seen some b-roll. I did pull off some of the books off of the shelves from my Spring TBR, some that I am very excited about. I don't know if I'm going to make it through all of these. I might do, I'm not sure. I could be pressed for time to even make it through this full 24 hours, to be perfectly honest, because I did start very late last night. It was about 12:30. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But I ended up moving some furniture around last night and I was listening to another book at the time, so this could also potentially go on this TBR. I will mention it very briefly, but I was moving furniture from the box room to the bedroom. I ended up breaking a nail. That was before I even started moving furniture. I moved my computer screen box off of the floor from in here and put it on the chair in the library and somehow broke my fucking nail. So I'm fuming. I'm really annoyed. I then went ahead, emptied my dresser and put it in the bedroom. It's not staying here. It was just to get it out of that room so that it can be floored. And then brought the set of drawers in and moved all my furniture from those drawers to these drawers because those will be Andy's drawers because they're newer than mine. Mine are yellow. I think at some point I will probably end up replacing these because they've got really bad sun damage on them. So regardless, that's what I ended up doing last night, and I was listening to another book. So the books that I have decided to pick for this 24-hour challenge and that I am excited to get to is this cheeky little stack here. It's not that little, but it's a cheeky stack. So I will leave Light Lag to the end because I have started off with that one. We do have Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. This is a smaller book. I do think that this will be a little bit intense, but It is a smaller book and I am intrigued about reading it because I do keep seeing the other ones in the shop. I know there's about 4 or 5 of them out now, so I am intrigued to read this one. So I've popped that one on here because it's the smallest one that I had on the TBR as well. Then my hair is falling out. Then I do have Kingdom of Villains by Ella Fields. I'm very aware that there is an Ella Fields book coming in a subscription box soon, in the next couple of months I think. So I would like to read a book from her. I feel like that would be a good thing to do. And I have this one. So this one is Faye? Unseelie Prince. Romantasy. I think it's A Marriage of Convenience or something. So there is that one as well. Then I do have In the Weeds by BK Boris, and I've been wanting to read this. Oh, it's pissing it down. I feel like that's the mode I'm in right now. Complete distraction. I've been wanting to read this one for so fucking long now, and I really wanted to do it during the season, so I'm desperate to get to this one in spring while we're still here for the time being. So I really do want to read this one. I did just order the Afterlight editions of BK Borison's books, and I'm so excited to get them. So I do want to get to this one so that I can get to Mixed Signals and also my arc of business casual in July, because I'm only reading queer books in June. Otherwise I will be picking them up in June, at least Mixed Signals in June anyway. So I will try and get to those. I do want to try and at least start business casual before it comes out. So yeah, I want to get to this one as well. Then I do have Fruits Basket Volume 2, which it went on my Spring TBR, but Claire also put it in my Patreon pot. So this will be the only physical read. Everything else I have on audio. So this will be a nice little physical read. I think at the moment as well, I seem to be going through a phase of making a decision partway through a manga that I don't want to read it anymore. I was partway through Death Note Volume 3 and it was taking me so long, and I was just honest to God sick to death of seeing it on my currently reading, that I just made the decision I wasn't continuing on with the series anymore. I've seen quite a few reviews saying that Death Note Volume 1 is fantastic, Volume 2 is okay, but at about Volume 3 people start to get really bored because it just drags and it's just stupid. So I don't think I want to continue with it anymore, and now I can unhaul that entire series because I have them all. So before I go ploughing into buying any more of these, because I think I have Volumes 3 and maybe Volume 4, I would like to get a little bit further into it. So I feel like this is a good one to get to. It should be quick as well, fast paced. And then the other one that I do have is a thriller. We know I love to read a thriller in a day. This I was going to start last night until I realised I just like to plough through them in a day. So it is So Happy For You by Celia Lasky. Now I had this one, and I also had Just Like Home by Sarah Gailey on my TBR. So these two are interchangeable because honestly, this is queer. So I could read this in June and still get to it before spring is up, because summer is partway through June. At least that's when it starts in this country anyway. So I could push this one. I think it's the only one that is still on my TBR that's queer, which is bad for me as a person. But yeah, this one is apparently queer, so I may read Just Like Home instead. We'll see. These two are interchangeable, but I wanted a thriller / horror on my TBR for the next 2 days. So yeah, that is my little what I've got going on. The book that I did start with last night was Light Lark by Alex Astor. I have been wanting to read this for so long now, since I purchased it. I've got Nightbane as well, and I've heard such good things about these. I know it's YA fantasy, and I generally don't read YA fantasy anymore. However, I seem to be coming to a realisation that maybe I'm getting back into YA fantasy. I don't know what it is, but I seem to be having a good time with it at the moment. So I just recently read Bonesmith by Nikki Palpretto. I'm fairly certain that was YA in the YA Fairy Loot box, and fucking loved it. I gave it 5 stars. It was so good. I also recently read The Crimson Moth, which was also in the Fairy Loot YA box. Gave that 4 stars. It was great. I had a fantastic time. So maybe I'm getting back into my YA fantasy a little bit. Loved Powerless from Lauren Roberts. That was fantastic. 4.5 stars. So maybe I am getting back into my YA fantasy. Maybe it's YA romantasy I'm enjoying more, because The Crimson Moth, Powerless and this are definitely like fantasy romance. I think Bonesmith, there may be an element, a sprinkle of romance in that book, but it's definitely more fantasy. But I loved the plot, I loved the world building, I loved the characters. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'm just getting back into my YA fantasy specific era. Love YA horrors and thrillers, that hasn't changed, but YA romance isn't something I tend to be leaning towards, although I have bought 1 or 2 recently, and I am intrigued to see whether or not they're going to go down well as well. We'll see. Maybe I'm getting back into YA, who the fuck knows. So this is the one I started with last night, and I ended up making really good progress in this because I read for about an hour and a half. I've got my timer to show you. So I'm on 22 hours and 29 minutes. So I read for about an hour and a half last night. I really do need to get a shufti on though, because it is already 10 to 10. It's cowboy time. So I do need to get a shufti on, but I got to page 111. So I've made some really good progress in this one. We're following Isla, who is a wildling. Now there is like a war between the Lightlarks and Nightshades, and every 100 years the island of Lightlark appears for only 100 days to host a deadly game where the rulers of 6 realms fight to break their curses and win unparalleled powers. Each ruler has something to hide. Each curse is uniquely wicked. To break them and save themselves and their realms, one ruler will die. To survive, Isla Crown must lie, cheat, betray, even as love complicates everything. So far I'm really enjoying this. She is a wildling, and she is from Lilac. I haven't fully figured that out yet, but the curse that her people have on them is that they need blood to survive. So I'm fairly certain that's the curse. I think that's what I've figured out so far. However, turns out that our Isla does not need that. The curse has not hit her for some reason. So now she has ended up in this competition, this trial thing, and she's having to fake her way through it. So they, like for example, they brought a heart to her on a plate and she had to eat a little bit, and then she ended up vomiting blood all night because she doesn't need it, and that's not normal for people to do. So little things like that. She's also having to fake magic. I think that she has some kind of power, and it's giving me a combination of, so I know that a lot of people might compare this to the Hunger Games, but it's actually giving me Divergent. It's giving me Divergent vibes by Veronica Roth. It's also giving me Powerless as well, because our main character in Powerless by Lauren Roberts also had to fake it till she made it in the trials, because she didn't have magic and she pretended that she did. So yeah, it's giving me Divergent and Powerless vibes, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I am having a good time, so I'm intrigued to continue on with this today. I would like to finish this today and get on with something else. So that is my intention. I do have Patreon sprints at 2 p.m. I was going to do them at 9:30 today, but it is bank holiday in the UK, so I've delayed them in case people are doing things with family or want to lie in or wanted to get some errands run this morning so that they can sit and chill and read this afternoon. My intention is to read all day. I'm going to get a bit of housework done. I've got some pots to do. I've got some washing to put in. I've got some washing to put away, honestly. So my intention is to do some housework, potentially continue tidying up that box room. I do need to tidy up the landing. My carpet guy didn't come the other week and he's now coming tomorrow. And he needs to measure up the landing and stairs. So I could do with tidying that up a little bit. So that is my intention today. But other than that, I'm reading all day. Well, I am working because I'm filming this video and I'm reading. But other than that, I'm not doing any work because I've got Wednesday's video filmed, edited, uploaded, schedule ready to go, and Sunday's video I think I'm actually going to film on Sunday because it's going to be a haul. That video will have gone up before this one, so that doesn't matter that I tell you that. It's going to be a haul, and the end of the month is actually Friday, so I want to give some more time. I will film it, edit it and upload it all on Sunday morning before I do some Patreon sprints with my patrons. So yeah, that is my plan. So Light Lark is the book I'm currently focusing on. The other book that I was listening to yesterday when I was doing this challenge, but with a different intent in mind, and then changed my mind because I suddenly realised I was doing a shit job with the Spring TBR, and those were the books that I'm really excited about. The other book that I have started, I started it a couple of days ago while I was at Andy's, and it is Across the Line by Simone Soltani, and it is an F1 romance. It is brother's best friend, and I'm listening to it on BookBeat, and I'm currently 14% in. So I may continue on with that one, we'll see. It's just recently come out and I did have an e-arc for it, but I didn't get a chance to get to it. So I'd like to get to it sooner rather than later, so that I don't feel bad about having that e-arc. So I would like to potentially finish that one off as well, we will see. But I'll keep you posted on that one if I remember to do it. Out of sight, out of mind, it's fucking awful, honestly, because I've done the same thing with Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. Still not finished that book and I really need to. So yeah, I'm gonna go, pop my headphones on, get some housework done, and I will check back in with you and have another update on this, and I'll set my timer as well. Okay, we're starting sprints soon in 11 minutes, and I thought I would come on and give you a quick update. It is 10 to 2 in the afternoon and we have 19 hours 51 minutes left on the timer. We've still got quite a bit of time left. I am still reading Light Lark, and I'm currently, where are we? Here, chapter 44, which is page 313. So I haven't got too much left to go, around about maybe 150 pages, and I'm still really enjoying this, having a very good time with it. So yeah, it's very interesting and I'm really enjoying it. I'm not sure what I'm going to move on to next, to be perfectly honest. I think I will probably try and do maybe another chunky book, or maybe I'll do a Fruits Basket and get that out of the way, or even before the coffee gets cold. I don't know. I may leave it up to my patrons and let them decide. We'll see. But I just thought I'd come on and give you a quick update with the timer and also where I'm up to with my book. So yeah. Alright, it's 4:05. I have 18 hours and 11 minutes left on the clock. I oh, just took a screenshot of that. Whoopsie, that was accidental. I've got a lot of work to do, let me tell you. Right, I have finished Light Lark by Alex Astor. I enjoyed this. I haven't run it through Corpo yet, but I reckon it's going to get a 4-star, which is the maybe 5th. I can't remember if A River Enchanted was YA or not. Maybe 5th or 6th YA fantasy romance, maybe, that I've read this year that I've given a 4 or more star to. Outstanding. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was very good. There's the whole trial thing element going on in this that is reminiscent of the Hunger Games, but I think also has some likeness to Divergent, as previously mentioned. There is a, I don't know if you would necessarily call it a love triangle. It's kind of bizarre because Isla has this thing with Grimm, and then there's this other king called Osso who comes into it a lot, and
I don't know, I kind of liked how it was done in this. I really enjoyed it. There was a lot of betrayal that happened towards the end of this, like the whole end portion of this book. So much shit went down. So much shit, and I'm not sure where we go from here. I feel like this has been done in a very good way, in that Alex has obviously done this as this is a debut from Alex, and I think she's done it in a really clever way, because I feel like this could have wrapped up at this point and we wouldn't have necessarily needed anything else from it. However, the door is, it's not wedged open, but the door is swinging, so that had the book done well, she could have quite easily done a sequel. It has done well, so she's done a sequel. However, if the book hadn't, for whatever reason, done as well and the publishers didn't want the sequel out of it, this could have worked as a standalone, and I think she's done a really good job with that. I think sometimes it can be really hard, because you get to the end of a book and you immediately need to pick the next book up, and you sit there and you think to yourself, if this book hadn't done well, I know maybe they've already written the next one, but if it hadn't done well, are they guaranteed to have that second book published? I suppose if they if this deal is signed as this amount of, like for example Rebecca Yarros with the Empyrean, whatever the fuck it's called, Fourth Wing series, that's been signed as a 6-book series. So whether Fourth Wing would have done well or not, it would have been a 6-book series. I'm not sure if the same thing has happened with Lightlark, if Alex has signed on with a so many book series deal. I'm not sure, but I think it's just it's not easy to write a book that is going to be part of a series so well in such a way that this could have been a standalone. It could be left like this and that would be okay. But I am very excited to get to Night's Bane or Nightbane. Does it have an S on it? I'm not sure. I'm excited to get to that, but I think because of the way that this has been left off, it's not a I need to pick that up right this second kind of thing, which I'm happy with, because Sky Shade doesn't come out until November. I've got it pre-ordered already anyway, which was another reason I wanted to get to this one, but it doesn't come out till November. So I would like to get to Nightbane between now and November, and then I can pick Sky Shade up as soon as it comes out. But this was good. I reckon it's going to get a 4-star, if not 4.5. I don't see it getting a 5-star, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was very, very good. I thought the atmosphere was good. I enjoyed the magic system, and I enjoyed the way that it did liken itself to the Hunger Games and Divergent, as well as Powerless by Lauren Roberts as well. I really enjoyed that aspect. It was similar but different enough that I didn't sit there thinking I've read this already and I'm bored, because I know what's going to happen. I thought it was really good. The twists and turns at the end, the betrayals that came along, did not see them coming. Very interesting indeed, and I had a good time with it. So yeah, enjoyed that one. I was debating whether or not to go into Fruits Basket Volume 2. Or to get like a quick sense of achievement-ish. It is a thicker manga. Or Before the Coffee Gets Cold. But I think I need to be in a specific headspace for that one. I think I need to follow along with the book. And I actually could really do with going upstairs and actually doing some work in that box room / on my landing. At least clearing the landing up, because my carpet guy's coming tomorrow and he needs to measure up the landing. Which he can do with the shit that's on the landing, but it just needs doing. And I just need to get it done once and for all. I've been walking past it now for about 9 months and I've just left it. So I just need to get it done. So on that basis, I am going to go into In the Weeds by BK Borison, because I feel like this is one that I can have on in my headphones and all will be good. So this is a grumpy farmer, a no-nonsense social media influencer, a small town of busybodies and 4 very cute kittens. Evelyn St. James isn't the kind of woman you forget. Beckett Porter clearly hasn't. One incredible weekend in Maine, he's officially a man distracted. So when she suddenly appears on his farm as part of a social media contest, he's confused. He has no idea that the sweet and sexy woman he met at a bar is actually a global phenomenon. Social media influencer Evelyn St. James. Feeling disconnected from her work and increasingly unhappy, Evelyn is trying to find her way back to something real. She returns to the last place she was happy, Love Light's farm and the tiny town of Inglewild. it has absolutely nothing to do with the hot farmer she spent 2 incredible nights with, nothing at all. So in the first one, Love Light's Farm, which I have read, Love Light Farms, which I have read, we have the situation with Luca and I have forgotten her name, in which she signs up to a competition. She owns a Christmas tree farm. She signs up to a competition in which you can win some money. It's a social media competition. You can win some money, but when she does the application, she lies and says that she runs it with her boyfriend. So she then asks her best friend Luca to do this with her, and he's like, yeah. It turns out that they've both kind of had feelings for each other for a very long time, and it was me and Andy all over. So I loved it. In this one, we met Beckett and Evelyn in that book. So Evelyn was the social media lady who was running the whole competition. Beckett is someone who works on the farm or is friends with Luca. I think he works on the farm. And we've met them both, and we've seen their awkward interaction when they initially meet each other, that we think is for the first time but clearly isn't. So I'm very excited for this one. I think it's going to be really interesting. I'm not sure where the kittens come in, unless that happened in the first book. I think it might have, actually, just very at the end. I think Beckett ended up with some kittens by accident. I'm not sure how it happened though, I can't remember. So yeah, I'm really excited about this one. This is the spring book from BK Borison, with Mixed Signals being the summer and Business Casual being the autumn. So I'm looking forward to giving this one a read, especially now that I have bought the Afterlight editions of these as well. They won't come till later on this year, but it will be nice to have gotten through these by the time they come. So I'm gonna get a shufty on and get this one read as well. Maybe I can finish this today, I don't know, we'll see. I mean, if I don't, I'm not doing as well as I normally do, because usually I manage to get through about 3 books a day with these challenges, so we'll see what happens, but I'm gonna get a shufty on. All right, good morning. It's 9:20 on Tuesday morning, and this is not going as I hoped it would. It's not going to plan at all, in all honesty. So here's what we have left on the clock, which is significantly more than I would like it to be. 12 hours 48 minutes. So it's going to be a long day, just shy of 13 hours. If from 9:30 I did nothing but read all day, and that time I just went the whole day, it would be almost 10:30 before I stopped. So it's going to be a long ass day, because I am going to be stopping and starting. I need to eat, albeit I can keep an audiobook on while making my tea and eating it. I don't really like listening to books when I'm eating my tea, but it is what it is. However, my carpet guy is coming round this afternoon at lunch, so I need to allow some time for him. Luckily, he doesn't dilly-dally. He's coming to measure up the landing and the stairs so that we can get some carpet ordered, and he can come and so you can come and laminate the box room floor and also carpet the landing and stairs, so that the flooring is all done in the house. So he's calling round this afternoon to do that. And in the meantime, I've got to get on with this fucking challenge, because I am way behind. I've also deviated, which is standard behaviour from me. So yesterday I ended up finishing just 1 book, which is really not a lot for me in one of these challenges. I don't know how that's all I managed to do. After saying that, I did manage to get a good chunk into this, so I am now 201 pages into this. I have 113 pages to go. So my first port of call is to finish this today. I am really enjoying it. I'm having a very good time with this one, I'm not gonna lie. It's really nice to be back in the town of Love Light Farms, and also be back with these characters. We are seeing Stella and Luca a little bit from the first book, which is really nice, and I'm enjoying that. We're also getting quite a lot of Layla, who's going to be in the next book, and some of the other side characters, but I am really enjoying Beckett and also Evie
in this story. They're really good. It's nice now that they're together, because for the first few chapters they weren't actually together. We were getting a little bit of their backstory, but for the most part of it they were separate. Obviously Evie was coming to the conclusion that she's not happy with her life and she needs to get away and do something about trying to find her happy again. Beckett was working on the farm, so they weren't initially together. I'm happier now that they're together. So yeah, I am worried about what this third act, whether or not there is going to be a third act breakup and what exactly it could be, because so far I wouldn't say they've definitely communicated a little bit better, I suppose, especially since Evie pulled Beckett up on being quiet, like avoiding his own home because she was staying there initially. The first 3 days while she was there, she didn't see him at all. So she pulled him up on it. She was very, you know, she confronted him about it. And since then, they've been hanging out, which has been nice. And we have just got to a point in the book where they've both been very clear on how they feel about each other. And I'm surprised how the other one missed it because they thought it was really obvious. So I wouldn't necessarily say that that was miscommunication, because they've now had a conversation about it and now knows where the other one stands. But I am anxious that it could be miscommunication for the third act breakup. So we'll see what happens with this, but so far I'm enjoying it. My intention is to finish this. That's going to be the first thing I do today. So then I deviated onto Fall With Me by Brooke Montgomery. I'll show a picture of it here. The reason why I've deviated is because I've got an arc for this. It doesn't come out till tomorrow, 29th of May, but it was sent really late. Like, it came through 26th, so 2 days ago it came through, and it's not queer, so I can't let it run into June. And I would like to do at least a part review of this tomorrow, if not a full review if I finished it. So I wanted to at least get it started. I got to 16%, 18% in this last night, 65 pages. And I'm enjoying it so far. So this is down as a dislike to lovers standalone from small town romance author Brooke Montgomery, about a barrel racer who loses her memory and the rowdy cowboy she once hated but no longer remembers. So Ellie and Landon we're following. There is a prologue in which there is a quick content warning at the beginning where it does say that there is death of a person on page, and then mention of a suicide quite quickly afterwards. And if either of those are triggers for you, then you can skip the prologue and still understand what's going on with the book. So I think that Ellie's got something to do with somebody that died at the beginning of this book, and this is the reason why she hates Landon, because he was involved with that. That sounds very vague. He wasn't like involved with it, but he was there when it happened, when the first person died. So I think it's got something to do with that. It says that she's hated Landon Hollis for the past 11 years. So at this point, from the prologue to chapter 1 where we first meet Elliot, there's 7 years changed. And I'm now at chapter 4 where 4 years is about to jump as well. So Ellie, we have met, we're in the situation now where Ellie has gone to the farm, Hollis farm, where Landon, it's his family farm, and his younger sister Noah is training Ellie up for the barrel racing. And immediately when she's met Landon, it's very, very clear she's got something against him when we don't know what that is yet. So there's been very much so banter back and forth, arguing back and forth between the two of them, but nobody's really said the reason why she doesn't like him. So he doesn't know, he's got no idea, but he has been flirting with her non-stop. He is kind of obsessed. So we're about to jump another 4 years, and then by the sounds of things there's going to be an accident with this barrel racing and she's going to lose her memory, and then I think she might end up falling in love with him. So it's giving The Vow, but with the fact that she initially hated him, not that she was initially in love with him and now she can't remember her own husband. So yeah, so far I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time with it, and I do want to get back to it. Whether or not I actually managed to read any more of this today, I'm not sure, but I just wanted to at least make a start on it so that I could say something on Instagram tomorrow for it. Not only that, but I also want to get this finished before the end of the month. So I've got till Friday, but I can find some time in the evenings to read this while I'm at Andy's over the next few days. Not this evening, but over at Andy's for the next few days. So I will continue on with this. If not today, I will do over the next couple of days. It obviously won't be mentioned in this vlog again, but you will find out my full thoughts on it in my May wrap up. So there's that. I deviated a little bit for that, and then I think the plan for the rest of the day after I've finished In the Weeds, I think I've got to be realistic, and I'm not going to get through all the books. Certainly not Kingdom of Villains, because that audiobook is 12.5 hours. I'm not going to get through that today. So I think I've got to be realistic. Fruits Basket Volume 2 makes sense. It's a manga. It will be reasonably quick to get through. It is kind of chunky, but it was on my Spring TBR. Not only that, but Claire did put it in my Patreon pot and I pulled it out. So at least that will complete that challenge as well. So I think I will continue on with this. Also, I do need to know whether or not I'm continuing on with this manga series. And then I think I'll go for So Happy For You by Celia Lasky. Although I did say at the beginning of this vlog, this could be interchangeable, just like Home, by Sarah Gailey, because this one is actually queer and I could read this in June. The only issue that I have with that is that I ended up using my Spotify 15 hours on audiobook on Lightlark yesterday, struggles, yesterday, because I didn't want to use it up on Everend, because I wanted to make sure that I had those hours for books that I want to read in June, and I didn't get restricted in June. Isn't it a whole fucking mess when you've got to be careful what you're listening to because you haven't got enough hours because Spotify only give you 15 hours or Everend restrict your books? It's so fucking annoying. So yeah, that does therefore mean that I don't now have the audiobook for Just Like Home because it was on Spotify. So it looks like So Happy For You is going to be my book because this is on BookBeat. Shout out to BookBeat for not restricting my hours and restricting the books that I can read as well. Let me just double check that I don't have Just Like Home on here, because I definitely started reading it at one point and I'm wondering if I had it. No, I don't have it on Audible and I'm not spending a credit on it. So yeah, bit of a pain because it would have been great to listen to that one and do that one, and then I could have saved this for June for Pride Month, but I may go up and find something else. Maybe we'll see, because I do have also Off to the Races by Elsie Silver, and I do have the audiobook for that, and that one is 8.5 hours, I think. So that could be another option as well. We'll see how many hours we've got left once I'm at a point where I'm coming round to this one and make a decision on what I'm doing. But I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to reduce myself down to these two for the rest of the day, so I'm not looking at the other books and I'm not freaking myself out that I've not got time to get to them. And my intention now is to just get on with In the Weeds and get this finished. So I'm going to go because this has been a really fucking long update. And I will check in with you when I've got another update for you. Okay, it's almost 12:30. It's 25 past 12. My carpet guy's just been. I've still got 10 hours and 51 minutes left to go. So I have now finished In the Weeds. I could take this bookmark out. I just listened to it while I got some work done. I've now finished this one. I enjoyed this one. I gave it 4.5 stars. The first one, Love Like Farms, did get 5. It did have slight miscommunication trope at the end, but it wasn't horrendous like I've seen in other books previously where I was like, listen, that was fucking dumb. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was really good. It was so lovely being back at Love Like Farms. It was so nice to see the little bits of Stella and Luca sprinkled in, but also getting quite a heavy dose of Layla, who's going to be in the next book. So that was really nice. I loved Beckett, Layla and Stella's friendship. It was so adorable. But the relationship between Beckett and Evie as well was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. I definitely felt tension between them. I didn't think it was rushed or insta-lovey at all. I thought it was really, really sweet. And I just really enjoy this small town. It makes me very excited to pick up Mixed Signals. If it wasn't for the fact that I am reading only queer books in June, I would pick up Mixed Signals very, very soon. But I will be waiting until July to pick that one up. You will definitely see it on my July TBR, that's for sure. But yeah, 4.5 stars for this one. So my next port of call now, because it's lunchtime, and I would like some lunch. I'm also trying to just do a few little bits as well. I'm having a look online for some bits that I need to get for the house. I need some new bedside lamps, and I need a new toilet seat, and I need a new mirror
cabinet for the bathroom, and I want a floor mirror, full-length floor mirror as well in the bedroom. So I'm having a look online to see what they've got at the moment, to see if I can get anything on a reasonable deal while it's been bank holiday. But I think I'm going to move on to So Happy For You by Celia Lasky. I think that's going to be my next port of call. Or is it? Let's go and have a look what I've got upstairs. Okay, so what is left on this TBR? The books, like I said, just like Home, I can't get the audio for now without getting an audio for it on Audible, which I don't want to do. I have the audiobook for Bridge Kingdom on Audible. I've read this before, though it would be nice to get to some books that I haven't read yet. Tutoring the Player, I could do. This is about 8.5 hours on audio. I don't have an audiobook for Such a Quiet Place. This could be a good one though, because it's still a thriller. I've never read a Mega Miranda before, and it would mean that I could save this for June, for Pride Month, because it is still spring until towards the end of June. I mean, in theory, June is summer, but as far as the actual solstices are concerned, it's not June until like towards the end of summer, the 20th of June. Fuck me. We'll get there in the end. Such a Quiet Place. I really need an audiobook because I've got stuff I need to do. 8 hours and 39 minutes for the audio of this. So I could do Such a Quiet Place. I'd really do want a thriller. So maybe I could do that, and then I would have, well, it would only take me 4 hours-ish, probably less than that to get through this. I would still have 6 hours of the day to go. So I don't know why I'm freaking out so much about it. I could probably do both of these. I've not read Fruits Basket yet. I just do need an audiobook. And maybe I'm going to go for Such a Quiet Place, actually. Wow. Wow, what a thought process. Anyway, okay, I think I'm going to go for this. I still have too much on this that I'm not happy about. It is what it is. We'll see what happens. This one is a thriller. Not everybody told the truth about that night. Welcome to Hollow's Edge, a picture-perfect neighbourhood where everyone has each other's backs. Until the night Brandon and Fiona Truitt were found dead. 2 years ago, Ruby Fletcher was convicted of murdering the Truitts. Now freed by mistrial, Ruby has returned to Hollow's Edge, but why would she come back? No one wants her here, least of all her old housemate, Harper Nash. As Ruby's return sends shockwaves through the community, it soon becomes clear that not everyone was honest about the night the Truitts died. When Harper begins to receive threatening notes, she realises she has to uncover the truth before someone else gets hurt. Someone like her. Sounds interesting. And like I said, I haven't read a Mega Miranda before, so I have this one on my shelves. It went on my Spring TBR. So yeah, I'm going to give this one a bash. Let's see how we get on.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling down.
Okay, it's now 7:15 in the evening. I fell asleep for a little bit earlier, not too long. I was reading Fruits Basket and fell asleep. I think I'm going to DNF that, I'm bored. So I fell asleep for a little bit. I decided to DNF it. I now have five and a half hours left on my timer. I don't know if I'm going to complete this 24 hours or not. We will have to see, because it is, like I say, 7:15. So I don't know if I'm going to manage it or not, because I'm breaking now for tea and I'm not audiobooking because I've gone back to Fall With Me by Brooke Montgomery,
which is an ARC, so I don't have an audiobook for it. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my stuff together for tea. So I don't have an audiobook for it. So I am reading that one at the moment. I'm currently at 35% in now, and I'm still really enjoying it. I'm having a very good time. I am still intrigued to know what the issue is between the two of these, why Ellie hates Landon so much. I am very intrigued. We will have to see what happens, but I thought that one of the rides that she was about to do was going to be the reason why she ended up with amnesia, and she might have come off the horse or something, but it hasn't happened yet, so we'll have to see what happens with that. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. Just wanted to come on, let you know what timing I'm up to and all of that good stuff and how it's going. So I'm gonna go make some tea and check in with you and have another update. Do you know what I will do actually while I am making tea? I've set the timer again. I might as well continue listening to some more of Cross the Line by Simone Soltani. It's the only other audiobook I have going on at the moment, so I might as well continue listening to this for a little bit while I'm making tea, so that I'm not wasting time not doing any reading. See if I can get through some more of this 5 and a bit hours left. So yeah, I'm currently on 15%. Okay, good morning. It is Wednesday and I need to get my backside moving and get myself to my brother's because I am running a little bit late, but I need to wrap this vlog up as well. So I did in fact finish the assignment with an hour to go. It was quite late once I'd gotten to this point, so I decided to just leave it. So I did have an hour left on the clock, so I managed it in 23 hours, but I did finish in total. I DNF'd a book, but I finished 4 in total. So let's go through them really quickly and then I'll give you my full thoughts and wrap up on the final book that I did read. So I did read Lilac by Alex Astor. This is a YA fantasy romance. The romance is not a big part of this, so it's not a romance, it's a fantasy with a romance as opposed to a romance with fantasy in it. But this I enjoyed, I really liked it. As I've said multiple times in this video already, this is reminiscent of The Hunger Games meets Divergent meets Powerless by Lauren Roberts for me. So I had a good time with this one and I ended up giving it 4 stars. It looks like I could be back in my YA fantasy era a little bit, and I am interested in testing whether or not I could be back in my YA romance era as well. I do have XO by Axio and I've been wanting to try it so badly. I've also got Night Shift by Annie Cran and I know both of those are YA, so I would like to give them a bash and see whether or not I'm back into YA fully or whether it's just YA fantasy, because I've never left YA horror and thriller, so I'm intrigued. We'll see. Next I did read In the Weeds by BK Borison. I loved this. This was really good. I gave it 4.5 stars. The only reason it didn't get 5, albeit I haven't stopped thinking about this since I finished it, so it could end up with a 5-star in the end. It could be bumped up, I'm not sure. I just loved the town. I love the setting of these books. I think it's such a beautiful setting. I think the characters are such beautiful characters. I do think that there was a lack of communication in this, ever so slightly. It wasn't horrendous by any means, but ever so slightly a lack of communication in this between the 2 main characters, Beckett and Evelyn. But I just really enjoy this series, and I'm so glad that I got the Afterlight special editions because it's going to be totally worth it when they come through. 4.5 stars for this one. I then did DNF Fruits Basket volume 2. I got to page 68, chapter 15. I'm just not enjoying this. I'm not feeling it. It's a shame because I've had Fruits Basket volume 1 on my TBR for a really long time, and then I ended up getting volume 2 I think before I read volume 1, and then I got volume 3 after I read volume 1 because I did enjoy volume 1. But the longer that I've sat with it, the less I've thought about it, the less I actually enjoyed it, I think. So I do have volumes 1, 2 and 3, and I will be unhauling those. It is what it is, but You can't like them all, can you? So I did DNF that. I then went on to Such a Quiet Place by Megan Miranda, which is a mystery thriller, and I gave this one 3 stars. This was interesting. I liked the concept. I just don't think it did anything special for me. It was just okay. And I had a good time with it. It was fine. 3 star isn't bad for me, by the way. It seems like it's bad for me because I very rarely, if ever, give out 1 and 2 stars, and that's only because I'm an active DNFer. If I don't think it's going to get more than a 3 star, there's no point in me continuing personally, because I'm clearly not enjoying the book. It happens on occasion where I do give out a 1 and 2 star, but it's only because I keep persisting with the book in the hopes it's going to get better, or something horrendous happens at the end and I fucking hated it on that basis. So I did give this one 3 star. It was a good introduction to Megan Miranda. I am intrigued to read more from her in the future. There is quite a few of these on audiobook on Everend, I think, so I might try that route instead of buying more, but 3 star for that one. So that is 4 books that I managed to get off of the Spring TBR that I still had left. I do still have 8 on there, but I'm only going to get to 1 more of those, which will be in June, because I'm only reading queer books in June, and only one of them is queer, which is So Happy For You by Celia Lasky. So I will get to that in June, but the rest will, I don't know, I might put some of them on my summer TBR. I will get to them at another time if not. But I'm happy with that progress. Although I didn't finish Fruits Basket Volume 2, it did, you know, inevitably get it off my TBR. And then the last book that I did pick up, which again I read in a haul in this video, in fact I read all of these in whole in this video, was Fall With Me by Brooke Montgomery, which is a small town cowboy romance. It is frenemies to lovers. She hates him for a reason that we only find out partway through the book, and he really likes her, but has obviously no idea why she fucking hates him, but she viscerally hates him. She is a barrel racer, he is a cowboy, he works on the ranch in which she boards her horse and gets trained for the barrel racing, and they have this, you know, banter, frenemy, relationship going on. We inevitably, at some point halfway through the book, an accident happens. She comes off her horse, she ends up hitting her head, and she ends up with amnesia. Now, as the book then goes on, when she wakes up and Landon is there, and she immediately thinks he's really attractive and will like him to stick around. She feels very safe with him. She's no idea that she actually fucking hates him. So it all becomes a little bit strange, because he's like, shit, I've got this second chance, but her memories could come back at any minute, and I'm really concerned, because what if she hates me even more, because I've now taken, if you like, advantage of this second chance. Even though he wasn't taking advantage of her as a whole, he did try and stay away, but she felt very safe with him, and she wanted to spend time with him. She wanted to get to know him. So that ended up happening, and then it all, you know, comes together at the end. I really love this one. It is the 3rd in the series, but they can be read as standalones. What I would say is that if you're going to try this series, I would recommend reading them in order, because I feel like that it's very integrated with the family. So very much like the Chestnut Spring series with the Eaton family, it's very integrated with the family. It's very family heavy. You get a lot of the family. So the first book is Noah's book, which is Landon's younger sister. She's the only sister out of the family. There's 5 of them in total. She's the only girl. So it's Landon's younger sister, Noah, who plays a very heavy role in this book, because she's actually Ellie's trainer in this book. So she's got a really big role in this book, and honestly I'm so excited to go back and read Noah's story, because I think that she's just a fantastic character, and I'm really excited to read her story. The next book after that, I'm not sure 100% who it is. I think it's Mallory. Is that right? I'm not sure. I don't know who it is. I'm not sure who the second book is. I won't know till I pick it up. But I would recommend reading them in order. They can be read as standalones, but personally, after reading the third one and not having read 1 and 2, I feel like you are missing out on some of the backstory of these characters, the other characters in the background. So I feel like it does make sense to read them in order. I don't feel like you have to. A little bit like if you were to pick up, you know, Powerless before you've picked up Flawless and Heartless. You're not getting the backstory on the other relationships that are already there in the background, hanging out in this book with these characters. So yeah, I would recommend that. I fucking love this book. There were so many different things going on. I loved the family element, like what we get with the Eatons. I just adored that. The Hollises are fantastic and I just love them. I really enjoyed the back and forth between Ellie and Landon. I think her reasons behind why she hated him, what we end up finding out in the end, very valid reasons. I don't think it was anything, it wasn't like stupidly childish or anything like that, something that happened a million years ago in the past or whatever. I think it was very valid. I think the relationship that ends up building between the two of them is outstanding. The growth that Ellie has in this book due to her amnesia, but also the growth of, as a character, as a workaholic, as someone that is struggling with life in general, with being happy. I think her character growth was incredible. This is an age gap romance. There's 9 years between the two of them. I think there's a few age gap romances within the series. The first one, there's about 20 years between the two. But I just enjoyed all of it. I really, really loved it, and it was fantastic. The writing style was outstanding, right up my street. There were many a time I audibly gasped. I was talking to myself about what was going on in the book. I said things like, yes, sir, out loud, or sir, out loud. If you get a physical reaction out of me, whether that be laughing out loud, which I did several times in this book, crying, which I nearly did in this book, talking myself through the book, which I did a lot. Just, if you get a physical reaction out of me, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be a 5-star read. It's not easy to do that, you know. I fucking love this. It was fantastic. I've not run it through Corpile, but I can tell you now it's a 5-star read. It was so fucking good, and I'm so glad that I put my, you know, that I didn't rush myself through it. Actually, I was physically reading it. It took me ages to get through, but I'm really glad that I made this a priority over, because I could have picked another book on my Spring TBR, but I had the arc for this. It does come out today, the day that I'm finishing this video, which is the 29th. So I wanted to be able to do at least a half review on it, if not a full review, which I can now do a full review on, and I'm really happy about that. But I'm really glad that I made it a priority. Not rush through it, that's not what I meant. Made it a priority because it was so fucking good, and now all I want to do is go back and read the other two. I am going to have to wait until July to do that, but I'm really excited about them. It was so good. I'm so glad to have found a new romance author with Brooke Montgomery. I'm fairly certain that this is the third in this series. I think there's going to be 5 in total. Yeah, because there's 5 siblings. This is the third in this series, and this is her first series, and she's already got the first one lined up to the next series, who, again, we know the characters from this book specifically, from Landon's book. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm very excited to continue on with that. So yeah, that was the 4th book that I finished. It was the 5th book that I attempted for this video, and yeah, I'm really happy with my progress. I did get through like I mean, Light Lark took me the most of Monday to get through, so and then In the Weeds I got to like page 200 by the end of Monday. So I finished In the Weeds off. I got to page 68, Fruits Basket, decided to DNF it. I read all of Such a Quiet Place, and then I read the majority of Fall With Me by Brooke Montgomery yesterday, because I only got to page, I think it was like 61 on Monday night. So I think I did pretty well. I didn't manage the 6 that I normally do during one of these challenges, but I think I did all right in the end. I did manage to get like 4 more books off of my Spring TBR, which makes me feel a little bit better. 2 was just ridiculous out of 15. So I'm now 6 out of 15. So it's better, you know. It is what it is. So yeah, I've got to get shoved on because I've been chunnering on way too long for this video now. But I hope you have enjoyed this video. Chat to me in the comments down below. What have you been reading recently? And I shall see you in whatever comes next. Bye for now.